Welcome to today's stream. Hello everyone. In this live stream, I will tell you about some cool articles, reports, bugs that were disclosed in 2022 or I've learned in 2022, along with some of my predictions of what things will be trending in the future year, what I will be focusing in the future year as well. It will be a mix of everything. There is no strict structure. There will be bugs, there will be articles, there will be tools, everything you will find here. I have 9 points, but some of them are broader, some of them are very concrete, very precise. And number 9 is attacks around web apps. As you know, I am a person that specializes in web security. I hack web, I write about web, but I think that all the things around the web is something that will become more common. Bugs around the web will become more common. Examples of this are CI/CD attacks. I think we'll see more of this because more things are automated, more things are just happening without the interaction of developer, and if we can find bugs there, we can definitely find something nice. This example of CI/CD pipelines, often these bugs will be internal ones. Often this will only be available for pen testers or AppSec engineers or people like this, and they may not see the light of bug bounty, but some of these things will become public. I will also share a lot of links here. So on the bottom left corner you see the shortened links which you can rewrite if you really want. After the live stream I will also attach the whole presentation. The link will be in the description and you will find all the links there. Similar case, GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions is something that can happen automatically after, for example, a pull request, after an issue on GitHub, and by design these things happen without the active interaction of the developer, and if we can find bugs there, those can be really dangerous. We had this year some attacks on GitHub Actions here on this was on Tinder blog actually. We had the attack on Homebrew, which I also covered on my channel, and I think these things will grow. So attacks not specifically on web applications, but on many things around the web applications. But it's not everything that I think. Also, we covered here things that are like before the web app will be published, but the second thing is different kinds of developer tools, because many developer tools somehow communicate with other apps on the developer's computer, on the computer of person who creates the web app. And to be honest, I don't do any software hacking. I can't use Ghidra, I can't use IDA, I can't comfortably read assembly, but surprisingly big part of my findings are bugs in applications, in terminal tools, and these are really simple bugs. Often these developer tools, they have no authentication, and maybe they expose some interface to the internet, maybe they listen on HTTP, maybe gRPC, maybe they implement a URL scheme, and these things are, in my opinion, easy money, and it's definitely something worth looking at. In this example that I have here, there was an RCE in Visual Studio Code, because when you're on GitHub, you can, for example, on GitHub, you can open VS Code straight away from your browser, and it uses the VS Code URI handler. And there was an RCE there. I won't go into the details here. It's pretty much how it looked. The full article is here. But I think in general this is easy money, and whenever you hack something, definitely take the time to install the terminal tool, see how the authentication works, see what interfaces it exposes, does it listen on HTTP, can you talk with it via the browser. I think about 2 years ago had an RCE in PlayStation Now, where from the browser you could connect to the local application and just get an RCE this way. So this is the first point. Focus even though most of you are surely web hackers, do not constrain to web hacking, but also take a look at all the stuff around you. The next point that I have here is actually a tool. It's DOM Invader, and DOM Invader is a tool from Portswigger, from the company who also creates Burp, and this is used to detect DOM-based XSSs. I think a general trend is that we have more and more applications working using the API, REST API, GraphQL API, gRPC, whatever. But I think you will agree with me that more applications work in the client side. JavaScript does all the work and the server only responds with simple HTMLs, and then the data goes through the API. I even was on a talk by a person from Google a few years ago when they showed us how big percentage of bug reports in Google were XSSs and how big percentage of those findings were DOM-based XSSs. It was a few years ago, but I think we can agree that Google are somewhat trendsetters. They are probably ahead of the industry. So I think this is what we will see, and I think this is what we are seeing. We are seeing more DOM-based XSSs, and I think DOM Invader is a great tool. I use it not only to find DOM XSSs, but in general to understand the client-side stuff, what post messages are sent. When I want to find which code created this specific parameter, I will use DOM Invader to find this specific part of the code in the obfuscated mess that is usually on the client side. So definitely something I recommend to you. And for me personally, I also learned more about XSSs. Also, since I play CTFs recently, CTFs are very heavy on client-side stuff, on XSSs. And I also learned about things I never knew before, like HTML namespaces. I didn't know something like this exists, and some tags behave differently in HTML namespace, differently in math namespace. There are integration points. It's really complex, and it can be used for sanitizer bypasses. And I have one finding that used these things, but I can't talk about it yet. I will probably create some content about it, but definitely sometime from now, because this is hard and I'm not comfortable with it yet. But it's something that I've learned, something I've improved, and something I will improve further in 2023. The next point is more of a general one, but working with the code. I learned in 2020 to work with the code a lot, to audit the source code, read the source code, debug the source code. I'd like to highlight here AssetNote blog posts, AssetNote blog. They have fantastic write-ups, and always they not only show what the bug was, which usually would be good enough, but they also show you the thought process, the code snippets. You can understand their methodology, as I said in the beginning. From each blog post, you can understand a tiny bit of someone's methodology, and then you have to piece all these things together yourself. And I think AssetNote blog post is a great place for that. Definitely recommend reading this. And also Shabs, which is the main person of AssetNote, the founder, I mean, he also has a great presentation about code review, and it was actually from 2021, but doesn't really matter. But the approach he has is often he takes something that's not explicitly open source, but he finds code to it and he audits it like it's open source. For example, he finds the code on Docker Hub. And this is a bit better than what I do, because when I usually audit the source code, it's something that's already on GitHub. So anyone else can also audit this code. And of course, bigger competition means less bugs. And what Shabs said about in this talk is finding some software that's not open source, so not many people looked at it, but having a method to find the source code and then auditing the source code of this. That's something I have to work on in 2023, because I think this has a lot of potential and I didn't do anything like this. This year I almost did one thing like this when I was doing the Elastic 100-hour challenge. I mentioned that one of the Elastic products was not open source, but it was in the form that it could be decompiled. It was, I think, JRuby, and turned out that the top 1 hacker of Elastic actually wrote the decompiler for that. And I thought about doing the same, but I ended up not doing it. But I definitely need to improve on this in 2023. Also, speaking of different things in regards to the source code, a lot of language quirks. For example, here different things in JavaScript. For example, escaping dots in this case, how dots that look escaped are not actually escaped. Similar things with regexes in Ruby. This is also nothing new, but it still works. And after this one, after writing this one in BBRE Premium, I also got a message that someone found bugs with this trick, which is always like the highest way of appreciation for me. And a great blog post from Sonar Source. They also have a very nice blog with cool blog posts about 10 security pitfalls in Python. And I thought Python is the language I feel most comfortable with. So I thought I won't be very surprised, but I was. This blog post is great. You can have the link in the bottom left-hand corner. And in the meanwhile, we'll step to the next point, which is CodeQL. CodeQL is a web security scanner that kind of understands the code. And I not only highlight it because I improved in CodeQL this year. I actually submitted my first CodeQL query this year. It's already running in the master branch. But I am including it because I genuinely see the potential of this technology. Because every day all my content is focused on offensive security, where I want to find bugs, where I'm kind of happy when the developer makes a mistake because I can exploit it. But we have to remember that at the end of the day, we work to make the internet a more secure place, safer place for us and for people around us. And I genuinely believe that CodeQL is a great thing, and it can improve the security of the whole internet, because the bugs that this can find are absolutely insane. I didn't think that the scanner can find things like that, and I also am very happy that I improved this year enough to make a contribution to it, and it's definitely something that I will focus in 2023, and I will want to make more contributions to that. When I do this, when I feel more comfortable, when I have a few additions to CodeQL, I will definitely create some content, whether here on YouTube or maybe in BBRE Premium. But for now, I don't feel comfortable enough to teach anyone. But for now, I can recommend you this fantastic blog post by Jorge CTF. He's a guy that actually works for CodeQL, because I saw him responding to me in one of the issues. But this blog post, it actually shouldn't be a blog post. It's so extensive, it's so long that it's more like a book or more like a mini course than a blog post, because he goes from very beginnings through some intermediate techniques to actually showing the CodeQL from the beginning to the end. And this is the best resource that you can find. So if you are interested in CodeQL, if you've gone through the official CodeQL tutorials, this is the article that I recommend you. And actually, if I would be a CodeQL owner, I would basically buy this blog post and put on the official website, because it can help a lot of people. Before we jump next, let me take a look at the chat. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks everyone for your messages. I hope you're all right, and I hope you're having a great Friday. From which country am I? I'm from Poland, if this was a question to me. There are some discords, yes, exactly. Ruby on Rails has a SSRF bypass that can be used for account takeover that involves using a GET request for the bypass. That's interesting. What I think about is that maybe the default SSRF protection is not enabled on GET requests. I'm not sure if this is what you mean, or you have something more to it. Definitely, thank you for sharing this, Harv. Moxin, videos on CodeQL in the future? Yes, definitely there will be some, but I'm not sure when and with what topics. It's hard to find bugs. Guys who says I found many bugs in my first 1 month. DevOps not understand this question. The Todoist have awarded the reward? No, Todoist haven't rewarded me until now. I think they are ghosting me because they don't respond at all to my last messages. So to be honest, I think I won't get a reward from them. But yeah, whatever. Do you think CodeQL can be used on offensive side? Yeah, no, like definitely. Whenever I'm approaching an open source target, one of the first things I do is to run CodeQL on it. What you can do right now is go to the website lgtm.com, and there you can see results for a project if it's on GitHub. If it's not on GitHub, then maybe you have to do it yourself. I also know they are making some changes. They deprecate LGTM for something else, but whatever. One way or another, you can run the default queries from CodeQL on any project that you download locally. And it's one of the first things that I do when I approach a target, because it just shows me potential mistakes that some developers can make. Or maybe it can even highlight the ready to report bug, although I wouldn't count on that. At least not in a bug bounty program. Okay, let's go next. And now I have the single bug, the 70,000 recent case by David Schutz, the Android screen lock bypass. I suppose many of you heard about it, but it was a great bug. The reason it's here is not actually because there is some magical methodology that we can use or whatever. Probably this is more of a lucky finding than some structured thing you can try. But what I want to talk about here is the importance of understanding how bug bounty works, because there is a lot of variance in bug bounty, a lot of randomness. And when you expose yourself constantly to programs that pay a lot of money, you are giving basically this luck a chance to have a big payout, because a payout like this, 70k, it's okay, it's unlucky, let's be honest. But payouts like 15, 20, 25k, those are realistic payouts that will happen, I think, to each bug hunter once in a while. And if you've watched my recent bounty vlog, you saw that the result for me was almost $20,000 for 440 hours. But I know that I spent a lot of time on programs with high maximum payouts, like Elastic, which pays, I think, to 10k. Stripe has a maximum payout of 25k. Google, I don't even know what's the maximum. And I know I am 100% sure that once in a while, when I expose myself to these programs, when I spend time on them, once in a while, I will be finding bugs with such a huge payout, because a single payout of 15 or 20k in my case would completely switch the perspective, and we have to remember this. So that's why I'm going to stick to well-paying programs, because I know that once in a while those big payouts will happen. And but what we need to do is those things are lucky. They are lucky, and that's kind of true. But we also have to be looking for these bugs. The bugs won't find us. We still have to find the bugs. And I had the pleasure to meet with David, to hack with him, and basically his mind is hacking even when he's not hacking. He constantly thinks in whatever he uses about things that he could try to hack, and he himself wrote in the title of this blog post that this bypass was accidental, because it was, but it's not a complete accident that it happened to him. So guys, be always on the lookout for those bugs, spend a lot of time on good programs, and I hope that all of us can once in a while get those higher outstanding payouts. And next, I'm referencing my own work, which is a bit awkward, but I genuinely think that this belongs here. For those of you who don't know, a few weeks ago I did the case study. I extracted 360 reports of SSRFs from the internet. Then I categorized them, I analyzed them, I did some analysis. The whole case study involved also what functionalities are vulnerable, what parameters are vulnerable, how are people showing the impact, and many things. And I think this benefits everyone, because let me tell you a story. Yesterday I started Black Friday promotion for BBRE Premium, and one of the $1 million hackers approached me on Twitter asking me whether he can learn anything from BBRE Premium. And to be honest, I had no idea what to tell him, because I do aim for intermediate and advanced level topics. But when a $1 million hacker asked me whether he can find something or not, I wasn't sure what to tell him. But after thinking about it, I came to the conclusion that things like this, that the SSRF case study or a case study of another thing, is definitely something that even a $1 million hacker can benefit from. So that's why I think that it's a good thing. I hope that you agree. I got a lot of appreciation on different channels, so I'm pretty sure that you agree. If you don't, then let me know why. And here I'd also like to thank all members of BBRE Premium, because the truth is that without you this wouldn't be possible, because everyone benefits on this. I can dedicate some time to it, because if people weren't paying me for BBRE Premium, I wouldn't be able to dedicate so much time to create such an analysis. Maybe I would do it myself, but it definitely wouldn't be so polished. But in this setup, everyone benefits. You benefit because you can get access to the whole case study and you can simply learn and improve your methodology. I benefit because I have the incentive, and I basically have the time to make the case study. I have the time to make it really nice, and I also like doing this. I enjoy doing this, and also everyone who isn't a member of BBRE Premium benefits on this as well, because I am publishing a part of the study. In this case, it was about 1/3 of the study to everyone, to people who can't pay me, because I understand that nobody can pay for BBRE Premium, and these people also, I know, that got a lot of knowledge from the part that I released. So this is a setup that everyone benefits from, and I just wanted to thank you. And I will definitely continue doing these case studies. In the next issue of BBRE Premium, I will publish the case study of XSSs, so it will be in about 1.5 weeks. So I'm myself curious to see what things will surprise me this time. With this said, we'll step next to our podium, and to be honest, do not pay too much attention to the order of this list. It was extremely hard for me to tell which of these topics is more important, which is less important. I ended up categorizing them like this, but I cannot guarantee that Had I that tomorrow, I wouldn't order them differently. So all of these things are great. And number 3 on this list was MetaMask clickjacking. It's an attack that I would never say that clickjacking could be worth $120,000, because that's how much this vulnerability was awarded. And what I want to talk about here is the trend, because if Web3 takes over, which I don't know if it will, to be honest, I don't understand the Web3. I mean, I understand the technical side of Web3 better than actually why was it such overhyped when it was. But if Web3 takes over, then the client-side issues will become more important, because in those Web3 applications, there's pretty much no server side. The server side is the blockchain. So for our Web2 hacking skills, the client side is what is left, and it is extremely important. So these things are something that we have to be comfortable with. And maybe even clickjacking, it becomes really, really serious in this case. Also XSSs, SSRFs, CSRFs, and things like that will become more important if this takes over. Again, I don't know if it will. Also, there was a presentation by, I believe, Zishano about hacking Web3 websites, but only using Web2 hacking skills. And it kind of confirmed what I'm telling here, that these client-side issues were really, really important there. I see some questions. Thank you for the discussion. I see that you are responding to others. Thank you for that. And we will continue to number 2, which is browser-powered desync, which is this year James Cattle's new research. And I can tell you, if I were to create a video every single year about the best things from this particular year, I can already reserve at least one spot on the podium on all the future years for James Cattle research, because the guy is absolutely insane. I find it really amazing how every single year he can find out new things that break half of the internet like this. Especially that, already before there was a lot of his research about request smuggling, about the desync techniques, and it seemed like nothing else can be found in this area. But then he turns out and is able to desynchronize the browser with the server. So absolutely insane. So definitely recommend you that. I created both a video about this, also an article in BBRE Premium, because the content that he creates is absolutely insane. But what worries me though, because not everything is so positive, is that he only got $17,500 for this research. And I know that he doesn't prioritize earning bounties, because I think he doesn't earn them anyway. But it's something that worries me in security, how difficult it is to monetize bugs that affect significant part of the internet, because things like this, they affect significant part of the internet. And he only got, I think, one payout of $13,500 from a private company, and $4,000 from internet bug bounty for Apache bug. And also this is the case for, I don't know, WordPress bugs, WordPress plugin bugs, and things like that. The fact that your bug affects many websites in the whole internet doesn't mean that you can monetize it easily. And if you report these bugs to private companies, because, for example, Akamai doesn't have the bug bounty program, it's a complete mess, and you get such a mixed responses. I described this in the last issue of BBRE newsletter about the very cool cache poisoning article, where guys were found the cache poisoning in Akamai, and they wanted to monetize it, even though Akamai itself doesn't have a bug bounty program. And they were getting responses from duplicates, out of scopes, closed, whatever, and also at the end some payouts from private companies, some good payouts from private companies. And my attempts at scaling my bugs, because I found a few 0 days that I could scale this year, but my attempts of scaling them were also horrendous, and nothing really worked. And that's something that I would like in the industry to change in the future years, to give us a better feel of what can we monetize, what can't we monetize. And in the first place, maybe I should mention the incentive to actually look for these bugs, because they really do increase the security of the whole internet, these bugs. So I think we need the financial incentive to find and report these bugs. And the number one, the coolest attack that I liked this year were actually two new OAuth attacks. One of them was found in Facebook, and the other one in Reddit. It was actually two independent researchers, Franz Rosen and Yusef Sumuda, who at the same time independently found the same bug. And I like it because I thought that OAuth attacks are the typical attack with redirects, some SSRFs and things like that. And these things didn't really work in 2022 because everyone has allow lists. And there are, of course, some cases, but it was not something that I would constantly try to hack OAuth. I would rather check for the basic things and consider it safe. But turned out that we should never take things for granted, because these guys were able to think outside of the box. It's like a childish curiosity. You don't take the thing for granted, but you ask why this happens, why that happens. What if this would happen? And they are able to basically hack something in a new way, which have been hacked a lot of times before. And the payouts for these bugs were huge as well. The Facebook one was awarded $40,000. The Reddit was $10,000, but I know that France reported this to many programs, and I'm not sure what the sum of bounties was, but it was definitely a lot. And these are definitely cool attacks to study. And it's also a tip both for me and for you to take a look at things sometimes with this childish curiosity. Don't just assume that something is secure, but try to think outside of the box. What can we try here? What can we try there? Is this really secure? Maybe not. And maybe we will be able to find something new, and not only rely on bugs that others have come up with. So this is the whole list, and these are the things that were my favorites this year. But the truth is that this is like a tip of the iceberg in terms of the knowledge, because what I covered here in 30 minutes may seem like a lot. It may seem like a lot of knowledge, but the truth is, if you spread this across the whole year, if you learn continuously, consistently, then it's not really a lot. And I would like to mention here BBRE Premium, which is all about learning consistently, because I believe that putting consistency over short bursts of motivation followed by being lazy, I don't think it is the way to go. So BBRE Premium is a membership platform where every 2 weeks you get new articles, which motivates you to learn consistently, which builds the discipline, which builds the habit, which helps you to stick with this for longer. And you can learn there a lot, because I create various articles there. There are hacking tips. For example, I explained the post-based desync there. Sometimes, I also create my additional graphics, additional animations, like in this case. There are also some code review tips. It's something that I didn't really see the need to do until recently, but I noticed how many of you want to hear about code review, and I also started noticing that it's actually something that I'm pretty good at, and I like doing. So it's something I'm sharing a lot. Also case studies. In BBRE Premium you will get access to the whole case study, to the database of the report, to everything, and you also basically support me. I give back to the whole community because I don't only publish this for the premium members, so pretty much the whole community benefits from this. I also cover some tools if I use them, and sometimes I also learn from people smarter than me, because there are loads of people smarter than me in this industry. So I sometimes will create a summary of a talk or a presentation or something like this. And not only if you subscribe you will get these emails every 2 weeks, but you will also instantly get access to the whole archive, where it's almost 300 articles at this point. So a lot to learn, and most of the things that I covered today are also in this article, in this archive. You will also get access to the private Discord community, where you can ask questions if something is unclear. Or for example, this week there was an article that I wrote about the JS map files, and there were some tools that I didn't know about, but subscribers knew about, so they shared it with me. So it doesn't only work one way. I also learn a lot from people, so it works this way, and it's also a good place to simply find people to work with, to collaborate with, and yeah, that's it. And also a few reviews. I'm really thankful for everyone leaving those reviews. They are really nice. The best ones for me are always those that tell me that someone found a bug using the tip from the newsletter. And it's a good time to join because it's Black Friday, and I do any promotions very rarely. This year I think I only made a single one, so this is the second one, and it is the best time to join. I can guarantee you that the price of the yearly subscription will never be lower. With this discount code it's $79, and yeah, I can give you a guarantee that it will never be lower. So if you thought about joining, then this is the best time. The code Black Friday only works until Monday, and after that, if you miss out on this opportunity, then for about probably half a year at least, there won't be any promotion. So definitely consider joining now. And the thing is that you don't risk anything, because if you don't like BBRE Premium, within 14 days, you can just write to me and I will just return you the money, refund you the money. So you can subscribe, take a look what's there, and basically decide then, make the decision later whether you want to stay or not. If you subscribe now, you will also get access to the XSS case study, because it will be published in about 1.5 weeks. So you can subscribe now, wait until the case study, see if BBRE Premium meets or exceeds your expectations, and make the decision then whether you want to stay or not. If you don't want to stay, then you just write to me and I refund you the money. No problems with this. So if you want to go to bbre.dev/premium and use the code Black Friday. And now I think I can answer a few of your questions, because I see there's a lot of people in the chat. Thanks everyone for tuning in and for being active on Twitter. Hello Lupin. I saw your message on Discord. I'm going to answer, but I'm quite busy about the videos. Fran's OAuth post was the best read for me this year, really detailed and very cool bug overall. Yes, Fran's blog post was really cool. I think actually his blog posts are too cool, are a bit too long for many people, but for me were I don't have a problem of reading a longer article. It's really good. I see someone made friends. That's really good, and that you find friends and connect here. Is SQL injection vulnerability alive? To be honest, I don't know. I haven't found one in bug bounty at all, actually, but I also don't look for SQL injection, so no surprise that I didn't find one. Once in a while, Twitter says something about an SQL injection bug, but I'm not sure how common is that. If I complete all the labs of Portswigger Academy and learn it, I can find bugs. I think all the labs from Portswigger Academy give you enough web hacking skills to find bugs in bug bounty, but then you have to you have to gain experience, because there are like different sections, different parts of finding a bug. One thing is finding a functionality where you want to try a specific thing. Then you have to like get the bug, and then you have to exploit it. These are pretty much three different things, and I feel like in bug bounty, usually the bugs themselves and the exploitation phase are not that hard, but the hard part is finding a good target, finding a good functionality. This is what really makes the difference. So if you completed all the Portswigger Academy labs, I believe you have enough skills to bypass any filters, to exploit any bug, and I think what you need is experience with basically real world cases, because you cannot learn experience. You have to simply by yourself find a few bugs. You will have to then connect the dots. Okay, if this functionality does this, then I can try this, I can try that, and so on and so forth. This is not, you cannot teach it, you can only learn it, as wise people say. Big fan, sir. Hello, Ajay, thank you for this. YouTube official says that SQL injection still exists because he has found one. I don't doubt that. Okay, thank you so much everyone for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video or this live stream, then please leave a like to help YouTube spread this to other hackers. And for now, I wish you a nice Friday, nice weekend. I wish you luck on World Cup if your team plays at World Cup. And thank you for watching, and goodbye.